Hey guys, what's up? Retro Mikey 78 here, and today I want to do a little bit of an update after the video I put out yesterday. The Retro Rec Room video I put out about them closing. You know, I was just wanting to talk about just them and why I thought was happening. Now, near the end of that video, when I was explaining what I think was going on, I talked about, is there a video game market crash coming? And that sparked up a lot of controversy and a lot of other opinions people had. And I wanted to do this video, not afraid to hear some more opinions or whatever, but wanted to do this video on telling exactly what I meant. Because I was pretty vague yesterday. I didn't want the video to be 45 minutes to an hour long. I wanted to focus mainly on Retro Rec Room. Since I love that service, dearly, dearly gonna miss it. So, do I think there's a crash coming? Like 1983? No. Video games aren't going to go anywhere. And I will get to that. But before I do, I want to tell you guys some of my history and how I got into collecting games. So you guys know where I'm coming from. Now, I started gaming when I was a kid. Young. My parents got me into an Atari. Then I got an NES one year for Christmas. After that, my parents would not buy me any other systems. They said I had an Atari, I had an NES. That's all I needed as a kid. But by the time it was over, I did have about 60, 70 games for the NES. I don't remember what the exact number was. But it was everything my parents were buying me. So the titles weren't great. A lot of them are still considered fillers to this day. Honestly, I never played Mega Man until I got older, but I played the Turtles, the Marios, most of the big name titles. Now, later, when I got out of high school, about 1996, I did decide that it was time for me to move on. I purchased the Super Nintendo off a guy that didn't want it no more. I dabbled in that. But I still didn't buy too many games. Didn't really mess with that system because the 64 had came out. And I loved the 64 when it was out. So, that being said, that's why I went for that system first. It was nostalgic. I appreciate it. And it was the smallest collection for Nintendo. Then, over the years, a couple years went by, I thought about, hey, I love games so much. I'm great at collecting games. I talked a buddy of mine into, let's open a store. But what do we need for a store? We needed merchandise. So we started flea marketing, yard selling, doing different things. And I was finding deal after deal after deal everywhere I went. I was getting hundreds and hundreds of games for cheap. One of the biggest scores I ever did, I was actually at a laundromat and I called an ad that was on a board. Lady said, well, I thought I was a lady, but she had up there an NES, 5 games of your choice for $25. And I'm like, what in the world is this? 5 games of your choice? How many games you got? How many NESs you got? So I contacted her and I went over there and she goes, well, she goes, here's what you got to choose from. She had 200 games. And yeah, there were some duplicates. She had 10 systems. And I looked at her and said, oh, so well, I'm wanting to start a business up, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, well, I'll tell you what. She goes, I've had this flyer up. I've tried to sell this stuff and nobody's biting on it. She goes, you can take everything for $100. So you can go start your business because I believe in you. And I'm like, okay. And that got me started. And from there, we collected and collected. I think I had over probably 100, 150 different systems between Atari, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I think we had a few Sega Saturns at the time. But, we didn't have the PS1 and 64 because those were the newer systems. Those were what was out. And we were, amassing a collection. I think we ended up with like 4,000 games I counted at one point total. And we were getting ready to open up. I had selected a place to have it at. We were going to do a weekend flea market so we could have it open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We figured that'd be our busiest days. And the way my factory work that I was doing at the time had, I could have every other weekend off. So my buddy was going to cover the other weekends. And he just backed out. Last minute, just ditched me, didn't talk to me. And I was like, well, I can't open this if I can't do this. So that all fell through. I had a big barn out in back of my house. I stored everything for a couple years, just left it set there and just collected dust. Got married, Rachel April, got married to her. And me and her were looking at this. I was like, man, this is taking up half the barn. So I can't do this, can't do that. So we decided at that point, hey, why don't we sell it? My grandparents were resellers. They'd buy yard sales and sell it weekend on a flea market. So that's what we did. We went down there week in, week after, and we were selling the stuff. And we made some profit. And I did pay that guy back a percentage of the profits. And then I cut ties with him. I hardly talk to him, hardly deal with him. And it's a sad thing. Don't go into business. Don't have a business partner that's a friend. Don't try to start nothing up. It could ruin a relationship. Now, the job I had, the factory job, it was a good paying job. 2007, they laid me off. I tried doing game collecting and reselling for a living. Problem was the collecting part. I wanted to collect more than I wanted to sell. And to this day, that's a problem. I go out to buy trying to flip. I end up keeping half of it. 2009, didn't have a choice. I got a really low paying job. Couldn't collect no more. Couldn't get anything. Couldn't afford anything. Then 2012 came. I got a call back to come back to the company I was at before. But my job had moved here to Missouri where I live now. So to make the move, because we were broke, didn't have anything. I'd lost my house. We were living with my parents. I still had a huge portion of my collection. I kept the games that I wanted. So what I do, I sold 90% of it. I sold my Atari stuff, my Sega, all my Sega stuff, all my PlayStation stuff. That's including, Dreamcast, PS1, PS2, Saturn, Sega Genesis. Then I sold my 8-bit Nintendo collection, which I had probably about 200 games. And I had a lot of high dollar games, even back in the day. Had a lot of Super Nintendo games. I sold that system. Then my wife talked me into selling my 64 because we really needed the money. As much as I didn't want to sell that system. And that's where I was. I kept my GameCube and my Wii because we were playing the Wii as a family. We kept the 360 because we played that as a family. And I kept my GameCube because I wouldn't give up my Resident Evils on the GameCube. Now, for the next 5 years, I didn't collect. Near the end of 2017, our money problems were getting better. And I told my wife, hey, I'm ready to collect. I'm ready to start this again. So I started slowly starting a collection. 2018, we started the Retro Mikey channel. Decided, hey, we're getting VGM and our Retro Game Treasure. Let's get these, open them up, see what happens. And the channel's grown to what it is today, and I'm really excited for that. And I appreciate all you guys' help and support and subbing and, just doing what you do for the channel. That being said, that's where I come from my gaming. I've got all the way, I started, going to flea markets and stuff back in 96. I've been collecting and everything. And when I said that, I talked about prices are getting outrageous for these games. And everybody wants the high dollar price. They say, price charting's got it for this, or I see it on eBay for this. I'm going to tell you right now, if your copy ain't mint, you need to be knocking money off that. But if it is mint, okay, it might be worth that. But I don't understand this. In 2012, when I sold my collection, I sold Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2 an uncommon game. I'm not going to say rare, but uncommon. For probably about $70, $80. Looked on price trading last night doing this thing, thinking about this. It sold for $184. You've got to be kidding me. Now, I keep forgetting this part. I've had to shoot this video twice now. 8-Bit Glitch. He's a follower of mine, and he has his own YouTube channel. I will be leaving a link down to him below. I forgot to mention him. I did that in the last video. Last take I did. This video, I lose track doing this. I get so focused on one thing, I lose the track of the other. He did a reprise to this, and I want to applaud him for that. I liked this topic, and I told him in the comments, I said, hey, that's why I didn't, go into detail in this so much in the Retro Rec Room. I was concentrating on them. If I did this, I could rant for hours on this topic. This topic is a very highly debatable topic. I'd love to learn how to do podcasts, and I don't quite know how to do all that yet, but I'd love to learn how to do it and do this. This is a great topic. A couple of YouTubers talking about this. It'd be awesome. Now, I'm gonna first touch on the modern age, then we'll go to retro. Modern. Is there a crash coming to modern? No. At least not now. I don't know what's going to happen when we go full digital. SpawnWave today on his NewsWave, and I want to give a shout out to him. I love his channel. I love listening to the news. He reported today that PlayStation reports that now 53% of their users buy digitally. 53%. Why are we buying digitally? I'm going to do an example here. Reach down, see what we got. We got an alright game. We got Naruto 2 Clash of the Ninja for the GameCube. It's not an expensive game, but it is a game. Let's say when this game was released, it was $40. Or let's say we'll grab another one. Maybe I'll get a better title. No, I got a worse title. Alright, so we'll do a $60 and a $40 title. How about that? Because that's about the average for a brand new physical game, right? Alright, we got our $60 title here. You buy it, you play it, and then what do you want to do? Well, it's same as the 40. Let's say, hey, I'm not getting no more use out of these. I want to do something with these, right? Or let's just say you buy it and you don't like the game. You think the game's awful. Right now, as it is, you got physical media. You can take these and trade them in. You can resell them. You can recoup some of your money that lost track of words. Look, you can retract some of your money that you invested in these games to get back some of it. So you can buy something that you might like, or something you might want to keep or collect. Honestly, this game sucks, and I would not be keeping this game if I wasn't going for a complete cube set. Same with this one. They're not two of my favorite games. And that's where we're at. The new modern age, the more digital we go, the less people are going to be able to do resale. There's not going to be collecting anymore. You're going to collect games on your console, yes. But when that generation's over, what are you going to do with those? You're going to spend all that money on these games and you're not going to have anything for it. I know a lot of people, when they go from one console to the other, they sell everything they got and go to the next console and go, hey, look, I got all this stuff and I got $300 off the new console. Only paid $50 for it. But that's not going to be the case next generation, or not the next generation, but maybe the generation after that. Now, the retro scene. I'm going to hold these back up. Are these collector's items? Are these two games that people are collecting for the retro scene? No. Not unless you're going for a complete collection. And that's not very many collectors out there. This is the niche market. And that's what's happening with these stores. That and the online services. There's too many ways for the ordinary everyday people to sell their games, or even to find out what your games are worth. Now, you get on there and you'll get on here and you'll tell me, oh well, that's not true. Let's look at the facts. How many times have you been to a yard sale or flea market or anywhere you go to buy games that's not a store, and the first thing somebody tells you when you ask them about the price, that's what it sells for on eBay? Then sell the damn thing on eBay is what I gotta say. If you want that eBay price, then you sell it on there and you pay the fee that they offer on eBay for selling it. You want to sell it at a yard sale, you sell it dirt cheap. You want to sell it at a flea market, you sell it at your own set price. Because you're going to hold on to that game as long as you think that it's worth what you think it's worth. Now, the retro market. And again, I said emulation, and some people didn't agree with that. That gets back to digital. Now, I've got a buddy at work, and I've got a couple of these at work that do this, that I know of. They are selling their collection because they've bought the NES and SNES Classic, and they've hacked them, and they've put thousands of games on them, and they go, hey, I don't need these physical games. I play all these games on this. Let me tell you a secret. These things aren't going to last forever. My NES Classic already took a dump. Don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to find another one and probably get it modded, but mine's took a dump. I just like it on the shelf. It looks neat up there. My Super Nintendo Classic, still haven't even, it's still sitting there. I've opened it up, looked at it, and put it right back in the box. The PlayStation Classic, never have even opened it. Do have a buddy that's going to mod it though, and I'm going to put the entire PS1 library because I'm not big on the PS1 library of all the games, but I don't want to play them much. But I'm not going to get rid of my favorite PS1 games, and I'm not going to get rid of my systems. I like having the physical system still. But that's not the niche market. That's just a small percentage of people that will do that. Most people, if you give them a PS1 Classic with everything on it modded, they're going to sell the rest of their collection because that's money in their pocket. Now, what's going to happen? You're going to have these people also that will be like, man, I remember playing the N64 when I was a kid. I loved it. I had to get Mario 64. I had to get Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, GoldenEye, Mario Kart. These games are awesome. Let's say a year or two goes by. This thing's sitting over in the corner collecting dust. What do they do now? They go try to sell it. And that either makes the demand go up or down. But here's my problem with this. What's driving these prices up? People are, they get on there and they go, oh, well, let's see. I see this game. It's a rare game. It's worth $100. Well, if it's worth $100 and there ain't none on here for $100, but look, there's one on here for $105, $110. If we all slow down and start waiting and wait and be patient, you can find that game for under price starting or under eBay. But people get impatient. They want it now. And then they're like, oh, well, I'm going to pay what it takes to get that game. We shouldn't be doing that, folks. Because then they record that and then they follow that. And that's what causes the fluctuation of prices. And the more people collect, the more they're doing it, the more prices are going to go up. For instance, like I said before, the Chip and Dales. People collecting, people nostalgic for Nintendo, having to get that uncommon game, it drove the price up. I was watching a documentary I really like watching called Nintendo Quest. Really highly recommend that one. Guy says, hey, without the internet, he did it back in 2005, 2006. I don't remember quite what year it was, but he's like, without the internet, I'm going to take 1 month and I'm going to go find every NES title that there is. He spends a month trying to get these games. And during this, he's trying to buy stadium events. And Little Samson, he's like $300-$400. When he gets to stadium events, he's talking like, stadium events. He said he was trying to get it for $800-$900. I think he ended up paying like $1,200 for it eventually. 12 or 13. But still, it was the fact of, okay, it was a little over $1,000. And he knew that was going to be his high dollar title. Stadium events on price charting now, folks, is at a little over $10,000, almost 11. Why? Why is stadium events that much money? Is it worth it? No. World-class track meet in a 3-pack or even by itself is the same game, just different. You know, it just got different stuff. So, or a different title. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. I don't understand the philosophy behind a $10,000 game. Yeah, the World Championship carts, I know that they were rare. They were only given to a select few. And I do understand why they're so expensive. And I understand that Stadium Events is a rare game. That Nintendo tried to pull it off the shelves. But some did get bought. But these people are hoarding them and just driving the price up and up and up because they gotta have them. They gotta have them for their collection. Will I ever pay $10,000 for stadium events? I'm not gonna say never that I won't buy this game. You know, I might hit the lottery one day and just say, hey, I'm gonna get it on my collection. But do I need it to make my collection complete? No. I have world-class track meet. It's the same game. So that's where I'm at with the retro community. The prices, that's what I'm talking about. The prices are going too high. When I sold in 2012, I had a tub left over of Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, stuff I couldn't get rid of. Couldn't get people to pay nothing for it. I threw them away. Couldn't get any store to take it. Now, I've been to half price books. I've been to Slackers. I've been to V-Stock. People have them on their shelves for $10. And they're not sitting there, folks. I've seen people buy them for $10. And the other thing I got to say is GameStop right now, I looked on their website last night, will give you $2 a piece for one. 7 years ago, I couldn't give them away. So, that right there tells me that the prices have really inflated for a lot of the old cartridge-based games. The CD-based games, no, they're not inflating. They're not rising like the other ones did. PlayStation 1 games are not worth nearly what the N64 games are. There's too many filler titles. The PlayStation 1 library was huge, but most games to the PS1 are not worth a lot of money. There are some that are, but most aren't. And I'm noticing that the cartridges are keeping their prices up more than the disc base. The disc base are so susceptible to rot and destruction that that's what it is. But I'm done. I don't need to me ranting on for hours. Like I said, I could carry on with this topic forever. Really want to thank 8-Bit Glitch 79 for coming up with this topic. You know, carrying on his own video with it. Want to thank SpawnWave for his newscasts. I get so much of my news and my information about video games from him. I adore his channel. I recommend everybody going to it and subscribing. And hey, please tell me your guys' opinion, because I always enjoy it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell, because there's going to be lots more coming up. Mo Game Con's just 2 days away. We'll be there filming all day. Plan on releasing a video a day for quite a while. I got a lot of content going on. A bunch of new stuff getting ready to come out. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, on Twitter. And like I do for every end of the video, still got the $20 digital code giveaway going on until August 20th. So don't forget, the winner will get to pick between one of the 3 systems to get a $20 digital code. Thanks for watching Retro Mikey 78, and I'll talk to you again later.